Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Too Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. We're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we were ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's imdb.com, look up Too Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, imdb.com, Too Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actor Theo Le Ray with me. So welcome, Theo.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we have to talk One Piece. You were the young Mihawk, and we had Steven, came on the show, who was the older version of Mihawk. But before we do all of that, let's talk about you a little bit. Tell me a little bit about why you wanted to be an actor. That's a hard profession. What made you want to go into that?
Well, I was just finishing high school, and I had the decision. What you tell yourself what you want to do, and I always loved drama growing up in high school. I had a brilliant drama teacher who inspired me, and she pushed me a lot. And it's that kind of a feeling of being outside of your comfort zone and finding a new character. And I think the best thing about being an actor is being able to express an emotion to someone.
Yeah.
If you can share that across a screen or in person, it's brilliant. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I think in this role, your screen time was somewhat limited, but you did a really good job with the facial expressions. So you gave a lot with the time that you had, and I like that, because a lot of times when an actor's only on screen for a brief amount of time, especially a younger actor, they don't look as natural within the role, if that makes sense. And a lot of times it's because they don't know exactly how to do their facial expressions, because they get the lines right, but they don't have really the natural feel to it. But I thought you did. I thought it felt like you were that character.
Thank you so much. That's a big compliment.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, because it's with, being on screen, it's very minimalist. It's very, very natural, small, less is more, basically, in that sense. As long as you can picture something with your eyes and the camera can see that, I think that's what's important.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
So what was the kind of the audition process like? Did somebody come and get you or reach out to you, or did you see that they were casting for it and you're like, okay, I'll apply?
So it was actually, I was again very lucky because I have this agency here in Cape Town called the Young Actor Studio,
Mhm.
and they reached out to me saying, "Oh, we've got the One Piece people coming in, and basically it's between you and this other guy." And the other guy had brown hair, and I had the black hair. So
Hilarious.
I,
It
I
came
didn't
down.
even,
It came down to just a hair collar.
basically, and I didn't have to go in for a meeting, no audition. It was pure luck, and they just said to me, "Okay, you've got the role," just like that.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. We were talking off camera, for your first major role. I mean, it doesn't happen. You don't get
Uh,
attached to like a phenomenon. You usually end up doing like a short film, something like
yeah,
that. And here you are
yeah,
on a major production. I mean, that's incredible.
yeah. I was very very fortunate. It's I didn't even think I was going to be in the final cut because there was like four of us of the young guys. I just happened to be filmed first, so they did many, like I think they did about 6 shots on me, and then they panned. I think once they got to the other guys, they just did less and less, and they didn't come out as well. So it was all down to luck, and I just happened to play the character well in those 2 seconds.
Well, and that's the key. You played it
Yeah,
well in a short
yeah,
amount of time, which isn't always easy. There's not much you can do in a couple of seconds, but you did enough. You got the role.
yeah, yeah. It was,
Did you know what One Piece was going in?
Um, I've heard of it, but I'd never actually watched it. So I did my research. I was watching it beforehand, just for the build up.
It's like a
Especially,
thousand episodes of the anime.
I, I'm very fortunate because Mihawk actually comes up very early in
Yeah.
the season, so I got to experience what he was like firsthand and get that feel for that character. So it was good.
I had never heard of it, which I'm embarrassed to admit because I
Like,
portray myself as this geek person, nerdy person, and I was like, One Piece, what's that? But but I kept hearing good things, so I watched the live action before I watched the anime,
yeah,
and it was like I said, it was one of the best superhero shows I had ever seen. Even though it's anime, everybody's got a power. So
yeah, definitely.
yeah, I kind of look at it as kind of a superpower show. But then I went back to start the anime, and I'm not super far. I think I'm early in season two. Um,
Yeah,
but the anime is just as good.
it's brilliant. Yeah.
It's so well done.
Yeah, no, the writing was really good. I think it's how they've got all different characters and they all have their own say and their own powers and their own quest. They're all a part of this journey, and it's a beautiful story. Yeah.
How do you not just walk around town in a Mihawk costume?
No, I think the locals here would think I'm a bit. We call it loskop, which means you're a bit mental.
It's probably good I didn't get the role because that's how I'd be. I'd be like going
Really?
through drive-throughs, going out to eat and stuff. I'd just be in costume.
No, I actually didn't get to keep the costume. We had to hand it all back in,
See,
which was a
I
shame.
think that's wrong. You should get to
I
keep
think
the
so
costume
too.
because at the worst, you'd have a Halloween costume every year.
Exactly. Just have to grow the sideburns out.
That's it. Yeah, you could totally do that.
Yeah.
You get a little fake sword. Of course, that's a mammoth sword.
Yeah. I mean, well, you can get the little one, because you
He
have
did
that
have
little.
that little one for the one fight, which was hilarious.
Yeah, but you want the big sword, of course. It's
Yeah.
the
Well,
whole
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's such a fun character, I think, to be
mhm,
associated with. I was telling Steven, if I had to pick a character from that show to be, Mihawk
mhm.
would be the one. I mean, he
Really?
was the coolest one.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely got that feel to him. He's got that very like alone and kind of just that, who are you type of feel to him.
That's
It's
it.
very mysterious. Yeah.
Well, and he's got like in his first name like Dracul or something. It's got like a Dracula sound to it.
Yeah, exactly. Dracul, Mihawk. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it like on set? You know, was the
Uh,
cast fairly close? You know, were the more experienced actors pretty welcoming? How was it?
so I so we had to arrive there quite early, about 5. We had to park in like a almost a parking lot,
Hmm.
somewhere far from scene. And then we had like minibuses, so we all got on these minibuses, and we would drive into the center of town in the city, and it was filmed in the Castle of Good Hope in Cape Town,
Yeah.
which used to be a prison, basically.
Oh,
So it
okay.
had that really daunting feeling to it,
Yeah,
and it was all these like big. Anyway, so
that's kind of
when I
awesome.
it was really awesome. Yeah, we would off the cast and I would go explore and see the. Because I've never, as a local, I've never been inside. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to take advantage of that if you got the chance.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
But first walking on, I remember they put all the makeup on, did my hair up and all that, and then I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb because everyone else had their own stuff. And then I come in, and I remember they were actually going to film. They were filming one part with 2 characters sitting down, having tea, and then they look at me, and then I'm like, oh wow, this just got real quick because I'd never been on like a proper film set. It was just
Right.
wow, yeah, it was just surreal. And we got taken up to a back room where I was sitting there with Michael Dorman, who
Oh yeah.
was the Gold Roger,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
I
he
got
did a
to.
great job as Gold Roger too.
Oh, he's such a cool guy. If you want, I can tell you about him a bit.
Yeah,
And
please. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
If you got
I
stories, tell them.
yeah, I will. That's why we're here, no?
That's right. Well, we could just hang out, but I don't know that anybody'd want to watch.
Yeah, that's no, no. Anyway. Yeah, Michael was a really cool guy. He was telling me how he's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
He was telling me how he basically, I think he said he was in LA at some point, and he was, I don't know if he was either homeless in, he told me he was homeless either in New Zealand or in LA. So he
Really?
was trying to get some work in, and he said it was a tough time in his life. Um, I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this
No, and I
with you.
love that story though because you know, LA, I'm out there quite a bit, and they've got a really bad homeless
I've seen,
issue, and it doesn't look like if you were stuck in that circumstance, it doesn't look good. You know,
no,
it
that's
looks like it's a difficult life. So good for him for being there and getting out of it.
yeah, it was incredible to hear his story because and there was so many other people on cast that were just incredible people, like such like you could tell they were so interesting and so unique and genuine, and so he was definitely and he was very cool. He wasn't like like he had this how most actors tend to have these egos where they will be like don't talk to me, I'm the big guy here on the scene, but he was very welcoming and he was a very cool guy. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's
yeah,
what you want with your fellow actors. I mean, you just want to feel comfortable.
for
You
sure.
know,
Yeah,
and if you're working with somebody that's kind of a diva or just difficult on set, I mean, that's no good for anybody.
no, definitely not. It makes your job a lot more difficult, and the fact that he was so welcoming, just like you said, it was a breeze. Yeah,
Well, and if he came from kind of a rough background, he's probably more appreciative of the opportunity.
100%. He said you just got to keep at it, and eventually he just started getting the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that is. That's pretty awesome. I mean, did
Yeah,
you have trouble with where you're fairly new? Did they have to like line you up, or were you familiar enough with the situation, like you knew where to stand and where to
yes.
be, or did somebody have to move you around for that?
So for a long time we were just sitting in the room there with the other cast, with the younger Crocodile,
Yeah.
uh, Buggy the Clown, all of that, and young Shanks as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all just sitting there getting to know each other, and then time came to come on set, and then they all just dispersed us, right? And then I was kind of like, they were, I was speaking there with the main director. What was his name again? Matt.
Oh, Matt.
Matt
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah, I spoke with him, and he was telling me a little bit about young Mihawk, and he was saying he's very mysterious. He's this, he's the world's strongest swordsman. He's got this title to him. And then we did a couple of takes where uh, the camera wasn't like properly on me because so many people were trying to get in, being like, I want to put my face in the
That's
camera.
right.
I want to be in there. But eventually, I think the last take, the camera guy just went to me and just went, and I was like, awesome.
It got
Awesome.
it. I mean, did you have to do any training for that, or was it pretty straightforward? I'm trying to think back. Did you have any stunts or anything that you had to do? But
No,
it was more just showing you as a young
yeah,
person. You didn't have to, like, you weren't in action, I don't think.
exactly. That it wasn't there wasn't too much to come with the part. It was just more so giving the look of the younger version.
Yeah.
So it was for the
Well,
first
you
role.
and Steven you look a little similar.
Yeah, a
Like if
little bit,
somebody
I'd
said,
say.
like if somebody said that you were related at somewhere, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Yeah. You look similar enough that it doesn't seem inconceivable that that's
Yeah.
the same actor playing, a character at different parts in their lives.
I mean, I would argue that he's a more handsome looking version of me, but
He would argue the opposite, though.
no.
He's a very down to earth guy. When we had him on, he talked a little bit about his audition, and his significant other had put
Yeah.
eye makeup on him, like eyeshadow,
Really?
and that was the reason that he got picked because his eyes, he had that kind of dark
That
look
dark
to
look.
it, and it caught the attention of the people at
Wow.
the audition, and went with that. So yeah. So I was gonna ask you, did they have to work on your eye makeup when you got ready?
I was actually fortunate enough. I've got quite dark eyes,
Yeah, you
but
do. Yeah.
yeah, so they didn't have to do much. I saw so with the final look, how it's got that bright yellow kind of
Yeah.
look with my eyes. That's actually all CGI, so they didn't put any
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
eyelids or anything in there.
Yeah, because that
So
does give a very it makes you a little uneasy when you see the eyes.
yeah, definitely people will give you some dodgy looks like, oh, who's
Yeah.
this guy?
What's he got going on?
What's he
I
got?
was trying to think though, we didn't really get to see him in action too much. We had we talked a little off camera about the little fight with the tiny sword that he had,
Oh
where
yes.
he totally embarrasses the guy.
Yeah.
But I was trying to, did we see him, get to actually use the big sword at some point? I don't think we did.
I think there was one scene where he
Kind
wasn't there
of, yeah,
somewhere
takes it across.
the ship or something. He like cuts it across.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that would have been kind of awesome to see an actual big fight. Of course, he's it's not like we got rid of Mihawk. You
No.
could be popping back in there at some point. They're going to do more flashbacks.
So it's funny you say that. I hope that does come up. But there's been a lot of talk online for basically a younger version of the characters, and basically their
Kind of like an
interactions
origin
with them.
story.
Yeah, so kind of like a more in-depth kind of view on that. So
Yeah, I
hopefully,
saw that. It's kind of, they were talking about it's like a spinoff.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm all up for it. So if they're keen, I'm keen.
I would love that.
Mm.
However they want to do it. I mean, my preference would be to have all the younger characters, the Shanks and all of them.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, I'd pick Mihawk. If you just wanted to pick one and do a spinoff series, Mihawk would be my choice.
I'd say so, yeah. Or if even a younger version of Zorro, that would also be really cool.
Ooh.
I'd say. Yeah.
I saw Amazon just came out with a Zorro.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. I haven't watched it, and I don't know what country it's from, but I saw that they did have something with that. And you're right, like you could totally play an early version of Zorro.
Oh, I don't know about Zorro. I think Mihawk has got, my name to it now.
He does. He does. Yeah, he totally does. Mihawk is the way to go. That's the way to go. And it suits you. And if they wanted to do like that, it could be so good. They could do the younger versions, and then you have whenever the show is ending or something, or maybe you just flash forward on occasion, and then you could
Yeah,
bring
maybe.
in the other actors just for little cameos.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That'd be cool.
That would be
I
really
would
cool.
totally watch that. Could you how would you do being
Hmm.
on a show where you have to say make 13 episodes where you're involved in all of it?
I mean, well,
Is that exciting, or is that like, oh my lord, that's terrifying?
I mean, it's a mixture of emotions. It's more like, it's like, wow, it is so exciting to have this opportunity, and then it's also like, of course, it's always the pressure of you want to perform well, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that will come out well, you know.
Well, right. Right.
Yeah, of course it will.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that come across. Oh, it's probably been a week ago.
Mm,
And I was like, ooh, I would, and I wouldn't be alone. You know,
yeah,
that show would do well. I hope that they're really considering it, because it'd do
yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, if they want to contact me, they must. I think they've got um, my agent's number,
Yeah.
so
We're
they're
putting it
reaching out.
out there.
We're putting it out there.
We're putting it
It's
out
in
there.
the
You
universe.
know, just,
Maybe it happens. Who
you never
knows?
know. You
Never
know,
know.
I'm a big believer in, if you put that stuff out there, sometimes it happens.
Manifestation is a strong
Yeah.
thing.
I think it is. You know, if you if you want something bad enough, it may not come in the time that you want it, but
Definitely.
but that's okay.
Definitely. Yeah, but it was. Oh, yeah, it was so cool. Um, Seeing it. I was in Australia at the time. I was living there with this other family, and I
How
just remember
close
seeing,
is South Africa and Australia? Is that
it was very far.
That's pretty far, right? Like I know for us, it's a 16-hour time difference. So I know it's
I think it's about, if I'm correct, it must be about like a 15 to 18-hour flight,
oh yeah.
depending on how
Yes,
over
that's
far.
you're about the same. You're just far away. It's a long way.
It's a long way, yeah. But it was, I mean, it was just so cool to see it because I was like, no, they're coming out. Damn it, it's all good though. And then I see myself, and I remember I stood up and I was like, no, there's no way.
Were you
I was
watching
so,
it by yourself, or did you have like family with you?
uh, I was with my girlfriend there.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
my ex-girlfriend at the time. Yeah, we were watching it together, and she was like, "That's my boyfriend." I was like, "Yeah, that's me."
I mean, that has to be cool, seeing yourself on
Yeah,
on the screen.
it's
That's amazing.
it's
Especially,
definitely,
it wasn't like it was a small show, big show.
yeah. I remember I was looking at at how many people were watching, and I was seeing there was reactions on TikTok.
Yeah.
I was watching all of that and seeing what people were thinking, and it was just, yeah, it's a crazy feeling to see yourself, and so many other people can see that as well. So it was
Are
cool.
you recognized at all walking around now? Are you getting more recognition, or is it still about the same?
It's very funny you mentioned that because I got recognized just the other night. I was at a bar, and then we met this one guy, and he was like, "You look familiar." I was like, where would you know me from?" Because he knew. I told him I was an actor. He's like, were you in One Piece? And it's like, yes. And he's like, you were Mihawk, weren't you? I was like, yes. And he was like, oh, that's so cool, man. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
it is. It's a really cool feeling to be recognized for your work.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times with smaller roles, people don't necessarily pick up
Yeah.
that unless they already know you, and then they kind of
Yeah.
recognize. But this role, it was smaller, but it's such a big role and such a recognizable character. Yeah,
Mm,
I'm sure you're going to get recognized some
yeah.
just by fans.
Just by fans. Yeah. There's been a lot of excuse me. There's been a lot of online interaction. There was so the lady she's got an account called Meme Hawk. And she actually contacted me saying, "Oh, I'm a huge fan," and then she recommended that I, post more. Or she was helping me out so much,
Yeah.
and she recommended your to come on your show here.
Oh, that's nice of her.
Yeah, it was really nice of her, and it just
Yeah.
shows you what kind of a fan base the One Piece people are.
It has, well, I won't say surprised me because I'm a comic book guy, so I spend a lot of time at conventions, and I
Yeah.
see how fans are when they love something. But
Mm.
it's also still a little surprising because I mean, it's a phenomenon. It's so big,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
and not
huge.
just like it's worldwide. You know, it's like in all these different languages. You know, anime is kind of interesting because when it's popular, I don't think there's anything that's as popular as some of the anime that's out there.
It's very true. There's definitely a massive fan base for anime. It's like, I mean, I was with these guys the other day, and they were just. I'm afraid I'm not a huge. I haven't watched Dragon Ball. I didn't grow up watching Dragon Ball
I
Z.
was going to ask you because
Yeah.
Steven was a big Dragon Ball
I
uh,
heard, yes. I
fan
heard he was.
growing up. So I was going to ask
Yeah.
you if you, because you're a little young for it. You know,
Mm,
really Dragon Ball, it was so big,
mm,
um, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. Still big, but that's
yeah.
when it was just so popular. So it doesn't surprise me necessarily that that's not your thing. But was there an anime that you kind of, attached yourself to, let's say?
Um, Not so. I grew up watching. So my mom and I, we didn't actually have like a. At the time, we didn't have like a cable TV. All we
Yeah.
had was DVDs. So
Okay.
I'd watch. We watched like a lot of DVDs. So I wouldn't say I only got into like anime as I got older. To be
Yeah,
honest.
and that makes sense because it's not as easy or it hasn't been as easy to find it
Yeah.
up until the last few years. You know,
Exactly. You can go
Netflix and stuff
online.
started picking it up. Yeah, now you can find it, wherever you want. But
Exactly.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And actually, um, I grew up without cable TV. We had networks, but there was only three channels.
There you
So
go.
as I got older, a lot of what we watched was on it was cassette tapes at the time, before DVDs came out. But that's
Yeah.
not a terrible way to grow up because you're not stuck in front of a TV all
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, being being an actor, I was very much in. I loved films, the
yeah.
DVDs. But yeah, it definitely. I agree. You're not too much involved with the
Yeah.
cable and
I
just
mean,
trying.
it might be you may not be aware of certain programs or something that you might have missed, but I actually think growing up, that's probably a good thing not to have a TV.
Yeah. No, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Now I couldn't survive without one now.
No, yeah, no, likewise.
TV or a phone, laptop, something. I gotta have something
It's
to check stuff out. If nothing else, I like to watch stuff when I run. Like a lot of the One Piece anime
really.
I watch is like I get on a treadmill and just watch as I
Oh,
as I as I run because I gotta like I run. I'm a runner kinda, but I don't
mm,
like it. I run more just to stay in shape, so I have to
yeah,
distract myself. So
I
so
see.
I can't just run. I gotta like run and watch something, and then
Yeah.
that tricks me enough to you know keep me from focusing on how miserable I am running.
Yeah. I mean, well, they say swimming is the most depressing sport because you're just looking at a line like the whole day, basically.
That's awesome, and true.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's very true.
yeah, that's pretty true.
I think
So
running.
what's coming up? Are you looking
So,
into new roles? I'm assuming you're going to continue to act. Has this helped open up some doors? What's going on for the future?
um, so it's interesting. It's only started opening up doors now as
Yeah.
I've come back home into South Africa. Um, and just in terms of the fan base and all of that. But in terms of roles, I'm doing a indie film at the moment.
Oh, that's
We're doing
exciting.
yeah, it is very exciting. We're doing a basically like a love message to Casablanca. Do you know that film?
Of course. That's
Of
a
course,
classic.
it's a classic, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're doing, and I'm gonna be basically Mr. Blaine. So I'm gonna be Rick.
Oh, nice.
So and we've been doing that. We've got a basically we're a bunch of students at a acting school, and we've
Yeah.
come together now. We've like formed this group, and we're just kind of like filming. And this the director. He's called AB, and what he has in mind is just to pump out films, just so we can get that experience of working with people as
Yeah,
well
that's
as.
smart.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a lot of fun because I'm there with one of my best friends, and he's the cinematographer, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Just to
Yeah,
film.
I mean, that's kind of awesome because you're working with people around your age.
Exactly.
You're using it as kind of a springboard or a way to get more experience.
Yeah.
And it's a fun project. I mean, that's awesome. But
Yeah.
you
No, it's
never know
awesome.
with that stuff if it's independent. If you decide to take it through some of the film festivals, you
Yeah,
never
it's
know.
true.
Yeah, it
Never
could
know.
turn into something.
Yeah. Hopefully we do a good job and it does well.
Yeah, yeah. Does it? What's the name for it?
At the moment, I've got the script here actually. We've called it Mr. Blaine.
Mr. Blaine.
Mr. Blaine. So
Have you
if
started filming yet, or are you still in the kind of pre stuff?
no, we're still in the pre stuff. I'm still touching up on the lines, learning the subtext and all of that.
I mean, that's
So
exciting getting ready for a role.
yeah, it is. It's such an amazing thing because you're having to dive into a completely like new character and
Yeah.
this new time era that you have to represent, and you have to do a new type of accent. You know.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, that's awesome. Has
like,
have they started reaching out for you to do conventions yet?
convention. So again, Meme Hawk is. I think she's like my personal like friend. She's been amazing. She's actually reached out for me to
Yeah.
a Comic Con here in Cape Town, and they said they'll be in contact with me and her, just so if they want me to come in and represent Mihawk, then yeah.
I hope you get to do that because the conventions are the best. I mean, dealing with fans, it's pretty awesome because like 95% of them are terrific. Just the
Yeah,
best. You'll get a knucklehead every once in a while, but for the most part, they're just fans. And they
yeah,
just want it. They just want that a little bit of time. A little interaction with that.
yeah.
I love conventions. They're a lot of fun. It's exhausting.
I bet you're having to speak to like many different people. Hi, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? Hey,
That's
hey,
it. I
hey.
mean, you're having to basically make small talk all day long, but
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't it doesn't suck being the center of attention.
uh, well, that's why you go. You want to go because you want to you want to meet everyone and hear their opinions and all that. For
I
sure.
hope you get a chance to come to the States. We have
I would love to.
such big conventions here. I hope that when One Piece comes back for season 2 or the spinoff, maybe they bring you to like San Diego Comic Con or something. That'd be awesome.
That I've always wanted to go to America, so that'll be a dream of mine for sure.
Yeah, we need to
Definitely.
get you here. That'd be
That'd be nice.
that'd be fun with that.
Yeah.
Just bring all of them. Bring
Oh,
bring your new cast for the new movie. Just bring all
I gotta try and get the numbers around, but I'll try and bring them for
of
sure.
them. Now, Theo, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time.
No, it's a
I
pleasure. Thank
love
you.
the show. I was so happy for you for the role, and I was thrilled to death to get a chance to talk with you. I love talking with younger actors because you're just getting started.
Yeah,
But you're so you got so much positive energy that you're putting out there, and I think you're talented. So I expect we'll see a lot more of you going forward.
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
All
yeah, of
right,
course, and hopefully we'll see more of you on One Piece or the spinoff.
but I've got one more fun fact just before I
Yeah,
leave.
yeah, of course.
So the sideburns I had on me, right?
Yeah.
So those weren't my sideburns.
Oh, you
They
didn't
were
just grow those?
no. So that was actually hair from the back of a bull in America, but the back, which I mean, is the arse. So I had
So
arse
you
hair
had
basically.
ass
That's my
hair on your
yeah,
face as your sideburns.
correct.
That may be my most favorite fact from this show.
Yeah.
Did
Because
Steven have to do that too, or did he grow them?
I don't know. I think you can grow a
Because
beard.
the thought of him with, ass hair on his face kind of cracks me up.
It's very funny, but apparently that's the only hair that is very similar to actual human hair, and it's a bit Pacific bull as well. I don't know. It's either from
Is it
Spain or
only on the ass, or is any hair from that bull similar to
I
human?
think it's only the ass because it's the only. It's like it's the feel for it. It's that rough feel from the sideburn.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you told that. That's
No, I
hilarious.
had to. Yeah, I had to tell.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So okay, so Theo, before we
Yes.
go, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Theo underscore LE underscore Ray.
Yeah, it came right up. I was like expecting to have more trouble finding you, but I put that in, it popped right up.
Yeah,
Pretty easy
I'm trying.
to.
I'm trying to get it verified with the little tick, but
Good
it'll be
luck. We haven't been able to do it either.
really.
Their process is very random, I think,
Mm.
but it does especially for actors, it seems like a little bit easier process. So you'll probably get it at some point. It's
Hopefully.
funny that everybody wants that blue check like it's a big change, but it does verify that is actually you. So it's
Exactly. And people see it and they'll be like, "Oh, this is the guy."
that's
Exactly.
the guy because
Yeah.
you know the you've made it once the fake accounts start popping up.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like we haven't had any fake accounts yet, so I'm going to assume we haven't quite made it yet. So that's how you know.
Nah.
When people start imitating you, then you're like, okay, that's it. I think I would be like if I had someone imitating me or the
Mm.
program, I think I would go in there and just be commenting and stuff. I'd just go with it.
Yeah. I.
They say imitation is the whatever it is, the purest form of flatter. So
Exactly. There's no such thing as bad news. It's always
yeah,
news.
I'd just go with it. I wouldn't get upset. I'd just go in there and mess around with them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey Theo, you got to come back. When
Oh,
you guys get your film done, bring some of your buddies or something. Come back and tell us about it. That'd be awesome. Or
I'd
if
love to.
they bring you back on set, you got to come back and talk to us about it.
I mean, I'll bring the director I'm working with. He loves to talk, so I
Yeah,
think
bring him. That'd be fun. We could do a little panel thing, talk it through. I'd love that. I've enjoyed talking with a lot of the South African actors. It seems to
yeah,
me like you've got a really good film industry there. I know it's not
no,
as robust maybe as we have here in the States, and that doesn't you don't have the residual system,
mm,
but it seems
just
like every actor that we saw on One Piece was really good. It seems like a really good film industry that you have.
yeah. I think as South Africans, we're very hungry to get out there as well as we've got a lot of passion for what we do. So yeah,
Well, we're rooting for you to make it over here to the States. So
thank you, Michael.
if you do, you got to let us know. We'll come see
Oh
you.
no, you'll be the first people I know. I want to come visit you in Mississippi.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome, man. That'd be terrific. All right, Theo, hold on one second. Well, how nice was Theo? He played the young Mihawk, Theo Le Ray. Really enjoyed that. Just a talented young man, just getting started with acting, which is impressive. I would be terrified to be on set at 16 in a major production where I didn't have much experience, and he did just a terrific job, and I was so appreciative to have him reach out to come on the show, which is an indication that our podcast is actually reaching some people and getting out there a little bit. We get requests to come on the show quite a bit, and I love it. I love to hear from up and coming actors, established actors, anything that we can get that might be of interest to our fans. We try to get them, and I would put our guest list. I've said this many times. I put our guest list up against anybody else's guest list. I'm so proud of the people we've had on the show, and I hope that over the years that you have enjoyed as well. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you. Love to have your support. It's real easy to do. It's free. If you're a watcher, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It really does help us out. If you're a listener, please subscribe wherever you're listening to your podcast at. That'll help us as well. We've got almost 750 episodes, audio and video, up on our website, meistercon.com, so you can check us out there. It'll let you know if we're doing something in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention. Anything we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. So definitely check us out there. My last plug, imdb.com. IMDb is the entertainment database. They recently named us a top 100 podcast. I'm so grateful, so happy about that. You can help us with that just by going and looking at our IMDb page. So please check us out there. It's Too Opinionated Podcast on imdb.com. It'll let you know everybody that's been on the program. You can look at all the individual episodes, anything you want, and it's free. But just having you on our page definitely helps us out. So please check us out there. If you're a One Piece fan, Theo's not the first person we've had from the program on the show. We've got a One Piece playlist where you can watch or listen to all of them. But we've had Aiden Scott. We've had Stephen John Ward, who played the older version of Mihawk. And we had Alexander came on as well. So definitely check those out. So you can check out our One Piece playlist, or you can look at the individual interviews. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Too Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. Not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Too Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.